And we're live. What's happening, team? It's a beautiful, beautiful Saturday morning. I've just had breakfast. Before we get into it, I've got a bunch of questions that was from my last video on getting a role as a machine learning engineer. So we're going to get to all of those. Don't worry, I've got them all written down. And if you want to ask anything, of course, you can leave it in the chat, and I'll try get to as many of them. Chat so I can see who's watching. Otherwise, I can't really tell. Can you hear me, Marley? Marley man, what's up, bro? I hope the mic's working because I didn't really check that. I sort of just went live. But anyway, I'm going to do a quick Instagram story, and so it gets out to a few people, and then we'll dive straight into some of the questions. What's up, Jar? How you doing, man? All right. 1 second. I'm gonna make this a fun one. Future Dan in the house. And if you're not following me on Instagram, it's at Mr. D Bourke, but that's an aside for now. Let me get this story happening. Ready? What's up, all you Hulkamaniacs? Can you smell what I'm cooking? We're going live on my YouTube. Check it out. What's up, all you Hulkamaniacs? Can you smell what I'm cooking? All right, story's up. Let's jump into some questions. That was a bit of fun. I like chucking on those sunglasses. They're one of my favorite purchases I got in Japan. All right, there's a lot of comments on this video. So where are we going to dive in? Let's go right to one of the first ones. Because a lot of them had some consistency. So if you're just joining in, if you don't know what the context is, I posted a video recently of getting a role as a machine learning engineer. And before that, I've made probably close to, 50 videos or so now, maybe 60 videos, documenting myself learning how to code. And just a quick, I think this screen is reversed, but I don't know. We'll see if this works anyway. I'll leave this up here. If you want to follow me on Instagram, check that out because I post a lot of random shit there on a daily. So more often than I post on YouTube because YouTube videos take a little while to edit. Anyway, first question, where we go? All right, we got from Gene. Would it be interesting to know how much I'm getting paid? So I'm getting paid an hourly rate. I work part-time. If you want to find out the hourly rate, I don't know. There's something about having it public. I don't personally mind telling people, but having it on the internet for everyone to see may cause some conflict some other places. But if you want to find out how much it is, I will let you know. You can message me on Telegram. I'll leave that in the comments. Just go to that link, t.me/Mr. D Bourke. Send me a message on Telegram. You can ask me whatever you want as well. Do I like to ride bikes? Hell yeah. I love to ride bikes. What's up, Brandon? Thanks for the question, my friend. But yeah, if you want to find out the rate of what it is, I'm happy to share it. I don't mind. I personally don't mind sharing any of my finances or whatnot. Because I'm an open guy. Message me at Telegram, t.me/Mr. D Bourke. The link is in the description. Maybe I'll write that here as well. So if you want to message me anytime, Telegram's probably the best place to get to me directly. Just because I like how it works. So t.me/Mr. D Bourke. It's similar to Facebook Messenger, similar to WhatsApp, etc. But message me there if you like. Anyway, next question. So that's Gene. Thank you, brother, for that. We have a fair few here. Okay, so we have from Jayesh. So Jayesh, he says, congrats for the job. Thank you, brother, first of all. You are planning to take 2 months off and study machine learning and deep learning and then find a job. You've done the You partially completed the deep learning.ai specialization. That's also great. I really love that course. and now you're planning to do fast.ai to build some projects. Can you suggest anything else I should focus on? Help you get the MLDL job. First of all, excellent work on what you've done already, Jayesh. I think it takes a lot of discipline to put in the time to do courses on your own. I know that from personal experience. So what can you do alongside the courses? Now, first of all, I think the courses are a great start. But for me personally, I think because they're so accessible, because so many people can do them now, I think there's a few little things you can do to really differentiate yourself, right? So of course, do the courses. Of course, learn as much as you possibly can about the topics you're interested in. But there's one thing about having the knowledge up here, and there's another thing about being able to demonstrate that knowledge. So I think it's really valuable to communicate that as well. Now, how can you communicate that? Well, there's plenty of different ways. You can do it through a blog. You can do it through GitHub. You can do it through LinkedIn. You can do it through YouTube, what we're doing right now. So I think having at least one part or one place online, like a blog or something like that, where people can go and find out about what you're into, what you like, that is really, really valuable. Because think about it, right? If you're applying for a tech company and you're sending through paper resumes, and they probably get a lot of resumes, right? So if you can do a little bit to differentiate yourself, like having a website, or here's what I really like, actually. Here's what I've personally been doing, is going on LinkedIn and messaging people, asking them their advice if they're in the field or if they're working for a company you're interested in. Message them, ask them what would they do to start off if they were in your place. So there's a few things you can try, but most of it is coming back to sharing your work. I posted a clip of this on my Instagram or on my LinkedIn, I think, probably both of them in the last few days. So if you want to find it, check it out. There's the link there to Instagram. But otherwise, if you want to differentiate yourself, I would start by just making something and sharing it online. So but nonetheless, awesome work on doing those courses. Now, Sarab has 3 questions. Or actually, we might go before we get to that. We got the live. Here we go. Marley Man, do I do drugs? So the drugs I do. So the drugs are caffeine, alcohol. I don't really do them often. I've smoked weed before, done cocaine before, done cocaine twice. But yeah, fun times. But it's not. They don't control me. Would I advise doing them? No. I'm an advocate for health, so I don't advise doing them. That's just what I've done in the past. Really fun times, but don't do them yourself. We got a question from Joey Jackson. What's up, bro? Is his mechanic taking him for a ride? Ja, I might have lost some fans after saying what I've done, but that's just the honest truth, right? Mechanic taking him for a ride, probably. Poor Don. Michael Lewis, have I done part in any Kegel or GovHack? Not yet. That is something I plan on doing in the future. I think there is an event happening in my city next week about a Kegel hackathon of some sort. I may be attending that depending on what other projects I've got going on. But that's in the side. I'm trying to say no to more things at the moment, actually, rather than jumping onto new things. All right, so we've done the live stream questions. We'll jump back into the YouTube comments. Now, Sarab, good going, Daniel. Keep it up. Thank you so much, brother. Three questions. Let's break it down. Number 1 is, how did you apply for an internship? Number 2 is, what were key points in your resume that got you selected? Number 3 is, as a machine learning engineer, did you go through an interview? If yes, please share your experience. Okay, so let's do this in parts. Number 1, how did I apply for an internship? Well, I got really lucky, Sarab. I never actually applied for any role in tech. I got so how did this all begin? Well, it came back to a few months ago. I was driving Uber, studying through the week, and then I got to a point where I'm like, driving Uber was just not a great time, right? Because it's a race to the bottom. You were earning minimum wage, no career progression. I was like, nah, I'm ready to dive into this field and get a role somewhere. And so I'm like, stuff it, not driving Uber anymore. And then literally within 4 days of saying I'm not driving Uber anymore, I had people reach out to me on LinkedIn asking if I'd be interested to meet up. I was like, okay, yeah, sweet, let's do that. And before that happened, before they reached out to me, I'd started stepping up my LinkedIn game and posting some things online, sharing my work, writing dedicated posts to what I'm interested in, writing articles, etc., etc. Because I think LinkedIn is really a great platform for people because people on there are there to learn. But anyway, so I started stepping up my LinkedIn game, and then I was like, nah, quit Uber. And then coming from what I was doing on LinkedIn, so posting, sharing my work, what we were talking about before, I had someone who I used to work with, worked at Apple at the same time as me. We never worked together, but we just knew each other through different circles of people. And so she was working for a technical recruiting company, and she sent me a message saying, hey, you might be interested in meeting up with Mike. Mike, who was the founder of Attract.ai, who's also a technical, they find talent for different businesses. I met with him. We had an hour and a half chat. I told him my story. I'd been making videos. I'd been writing. I'd been thinking about going to the US. I've been learning all these new technologies. And so he's like, well, I think if you sat down in front of someone, you'd probably get a job. So I'm gonna put you in front of someone else. And then I met with someone else who was Cameron, who's the health lead at the company I'm working at now, Max Kelson. We sat down, had an hour and a half chat, and this was on a Monday. And he's like, do you want to come in on Thursday? And that's how that happened. It started. I went in on the Thursday for 1 day a week, the internship, and then that went for 3 weeks. And then after that, I got offered a role as a machine learning engineer. So I didn't actually apply for the internship. I more or less got offered it. I got pretty lucky. But I think the application you could consider was the work I was already putting in. So the work I was putting in online, sharing it on YouTube, sharing it on Medium, sharing it on LinkedIn, that was all, even though not formally an application, it was me applying in a sense. I was building out a resume, right? And I think that leads into point 2. What were the key points in your resume that got you selected? So I knew it would be hard for me to get a role starting out because I didn't have much experience at all in the tech field, right? And so what did I do? I did what I know best, and that's interact with people, right? So I started putting stuff out online. I started messaging people on LinkedIn, and I think I've got a resume, but I think I value an online portfolio more than a resume. So that's what I was putting in a lot more effort. So if someone wanted to look me up, they could find me. So really, if you look at it, all of my YouTube videos, all of my articles, all of my LinkedIn posts, all of my LinkedIn profile, all of my website is kind of like, it's not a formal resume, but it's put it all together, and that's my collective resume, right? So but if you want to make a resume, there's a simple thing, like keep it 1 page, keep it succinct. If you want to see mine, I can send you it. So send me a message on Telegram, and I'll send it to you. Telegram is here. If you want to see my actual resume, t.me/Mr. D. Bourke. Can you even read that? But oh well. The link's in the chat. t.me/Mr. D. Bourke. If you want to see my resume, I'll send it to you. Jar asked, what was my motivation for learning AI? Where did it start from, Jar? Well, I had a startup, failed because I lost interest in it, and just, once it got to that stage, I was like, nah, I can't be bothered doing this. It was a web application, and while learning web development, I was holy crap, this is way more fun than web development. Not pushing web development aside, like that's really cool. But for me, the simple fact that AI could be related to so many different fields, and because I'm so high on openness, like I see things and I'm like, ooh, shiny, 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 shiny. I get distracted really easily, right? So I was like, AI can be applied to all these different things. Look at the power of it. I'd been listening to some podcasts at the time, and they were talking about the power of machine learning, the power of AI, and I was just like, far out. This just seems right. This just seems like the future. I was working at Apple, and AI was getting integrated into all of our products, and I was just like, I need to get onto this. I want to start learning about it rather than just interacting it from the side. You know what I mean? I know I love using it, but I was like, I want to get into it. How does this stuff actually work? How can I use it to relate back to what I'm also interested in, which is health and which is communicating with people? How can I use it, combine it, mash it up, remix it, and make something cool out of it? And so I stumbled across Udacity and then Siraj's videos, and it was just, I think it's hard not to be into AI. So that's the sort of the loose answer. But I think if you're into technology, it's inevitable, right? You're going to be interested in artificial intelligence because that's just where all technology is going eventually. It's the combination. Technology started by getting electrified, and now technology is going to progress from being electrified, so powered, right? Electricity, from being electrified to being intelligent. So that's I think where the next stage of things are going. Everything's going to be intelligent. So I got sidetracked there. As I said, I got distracted. So I'm going to answer Sarab's third question, which is, as an ML engineer, did you go through an interview? If you did, please share your experience. I would say that the one interview that I went through was the sit down chat with the head of health. And then I think I never really went through a formal interview, like a whiteboard where you're like coding, like I need to do a function that sorts through things really efficiently. I never really did that. So I didn't have the traditional like interview type experience you'd think about. My interview was really, okay, this chair is not that great, far out. So the interview I had was just sitting down across with someone, having a conversation. I think that's what I prefer as well, right? Because I know I'll never be, I've said this, I'm like a broken record, right? I know I'll never be the best engineer, but my strength is dealing with people, right? My strength is conversing with people one-on-one or getting up in front of a crowd, right? I love talking, I love communicating. So if I can do that, well, that's going to give me my best chance. So I had to wow them with my in person, like wow, look at Daniel. No. But essentially, it was just building a relationship with the person, because ultimately, any interview you go for or any interaction you go to meet someone to work with, you have to, if you're going to start a job there or if they're going to hire you, at the end of the day, you're going to have to show up and be able to work with them day in, day out. So to me, having like the formal interview process is great, but can you really derive whether you can spend time with someone out of that? I don't know. There is no perfect way to do it, but my interview process was having a coffee with someone for an hour and a half, and then at the end, he's like, I asked, don't forget to ask. If you're talking to someone, you can give them everything, right? But don't forget at the end, he's like, what are you interested in? And then I was straight up. I was like, I'm learning these technologies, but I'm lacking commercial experience. I would like some experience from you guys. That was how it went down. And it was very similar to those words. What's going on, Nikhil? Nice to meet you. Mohammed, I'll get to you in a question in a second. Or Nikhil, thanks for tuning in. Yes, thank you everyone for tuning in, by the way. So I think that's for Sarab. So how do I apply for an internship? I applied with all my online profiles, just posting on LinkedIn, posting online. What were my key points in my resume? I never submitted a resume. My entire corpus of work online is my collective resume. And how was the interview process? I didn't go through a formal interview. I sat down and had coffee with one of the leads there. So that's how it went down. And now we might go into Muhammad. Do they pay you well in your new job? Yes, I get paid well enough for what I need to do at this stage. And money is not a motivator for me. I think what's more important to me, man needs. Here's something to remember by and live life by. Right? Man needs meaning, not money. So there's a certain level of money you can take, or you can get. And there's studies that show this off, right? So that's once you earn, I think it's about $100,000 a year or something around that. Maybe the number is arbitrary, right? You can do this with any amount, but once you earn a certain amount, once your basic needs are taken care of, that's done. You don't need much more money. What man does need to be satisfied in life is meaning, a purpose, right? So for me, my purpose is to work on interesting problems, to create, to learn to create. That is what drives me every day. That's why I make videos. That's why I write. I love learning things, and I love creating things, and I love sharing them with you guys. So that's more important to me than money. But yes, I do get paid well, and I get enough. If you want to find out how much, message me on Telegram. I'm happy to talk about it more there. And we have another question here. That's awesome. Thanks, Ja. What's the big goal? Working with a big tech company or starting your own? The big goal, the big goal. Well, I think about it. I think about my life in 3 to 5 year phases, right? So for over this next 3 to 5 year phase, I want to keep creating. I want to keep learning. I'm of course going to do those things the whole life. So that's boring. Get into the specifics, Daniel. Right. Specifics. So over the next 3 to 5 years, I want to gather some knowledge of where I'm working now. And I would like to work for a big tech company, but I think I'm better suited at starting my own, right? Because I'm interested in so many different things. I think if I go to a big place, I might be narrowed down too much and into one specific task. Whereas if I start my own, I've kind of got to wear many hats, right? I've kind of got to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. And I'm better as a front person, right? So all of the startup competitions I've gone to, all of the hackathons that I've been to, I've been the one to pitch. I've been the quote unquote CEO. Never been in a formal sense, but in a play sense, yes, I've been the front guy. So I think that's where my strength is. What is the company I'm going to start? Good question. If you had to put money on it, if I had to put money on it, it would be something in the health tech space. But hey, these things may change. At this stage, I would back on it being the health tech space. Big companies. If I was to work for any big companies, it would be any Elon Musk companies. Google, definitely. Airbnb would probably be an awesome one as well, just because I love their whole ecosystem around their building experiences and building time with people. That's what I absolutely love. So that's where I'd go next. Where do I live? Which country? Nikhil, I live in Brisbane, Australia. So I love it here. Brisbane's my favorite city in the whole world that I've been to so far. Another city that I also love in Australia is Melbourne. Japan is also a great place. US I'll probably live in as well eventually. But otherwise, I consider myself a world citizen, not narrowed down into one city. I love being able to go anywhere I want, travel with my backpack. Where is it? This bad boy. Take this overseas. And for me, like the next 5 to 10 years, I would love to just put a laptop in here and travel to different Airbnbs. That's a big goal for me, actually. All right, what's next? You can give meaning to anything. People make stories about themselves, even if you're a cleaner. You can make sure people don't get sick and die. Yes, exactly. You know the drill. How would you suggest to start working on TensorFlow for deep learning? at a beginner level, any book or anything else, WADA, go to tensorflow.org and go to the tutorials, right? So that's where I would suggest. And then go to the tutorials and then start up your own Jupyter notebook and practice writing them out. Don't just copy and paste the code, write it from start to finish and go through all the tutorials that you can. That's where I would start. And then from there, it's hard to say. Once you've got some foundational knowledge, I would say write a blog post about it. And because writing it down and sharing it with others will help cement your knowledge and also help other people learn. So I would try that out. All right, let's go back to the questions in the comments section. What else do we have here? So we have Chow. I'm not entirely sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but he says, congrats, Daniel. Thank you so much. On my way to finish my BS bachelor's in computer science, and I'm deeply passionate about machine learning. I'd be glad to know what worked for you getting an internship job in machine learning. Okay, so I think we covered this. What helped me get an internship and job in machine learning? Of course, doing some courses and getting some skills is important, but what I think is more important than just doing that is to be excited about what you're learning, right? Because that's one of the things that the lead ML technician or ML engineer at Max Kelsen, where I'm working, said that he was most impressed by when I came in, right? He said that I was excited to work on problems. And I think that's a massive thing, right? It's hard to not be excited about something else when someone else is excited about it, right? If they've got enough energy, I'm personally overflowing with energy and optimism and whatnot. So I try to share that around. I shut down when people aren't excited, right? I just like a vampire. So I think that's a big thing. Skills, yes, of course. Relationships, start messaging people on LinkedIn, start putting yourself out there. There are so many things you can do. I think what works for me the most is just being excited about it, because when I started being excited about it, it's when I started making stuff online, is when I started putting myself out there, and it all led into that. And will it work every time? No, right? That's the beautiful thing about it. It's like we don't know if this will work. I didn't know if it was ever going to work, and it's still, we're just getting started, right? Like, it's just I'm a month into my first role, and it's this whole YouTube thing is we're going big, guys. We're gonna keep building up, right? We're all in this together. You motivate me, I motivate you. It's a circle, right? We all work in it. But if what worked best for me is just putting myself out there, speaking my truth. That's the number one thing. If you can do anything, just understand yourself, have a conversation with who you are, what you're interested in, and just go balls to the fucking wall on what you're interested in, right? Don't worry about your weaknesses. Don't worry about your whatever. You can find people who are strong in those things and help you out with that. So that's my advice. Alex, working through Andrew Ong's machine learning course, and I'm interested in ML. What do you think would be a good MOOC after this? Also, thoughts on Kegel. Congrats on landing a job. Thanks, Alex. You absolute legend. What would be good after the Andrew Ong course? The Andrew Ong deep learning course. If you're coming straight from the machine learning course, I think the Andrew Ong deep learning.ai is a great specialization to go after that. Thoughts on Kaggle? Absolutely amazing. I haven't done anything there yet, so I can't speak from experience. However, in my role, we were looking at implementing a machine learning model by H2O.ai. So if you want to look up some cool stuff in ML, look up H2O.ai. I'll put it in the comments, H2O.ai. That's their website. But if you go through all of their staff, they've essentially gone to the Kaggle leaderboard and picked all the top performers on the Kaggle leaderboard to hire them, right? And they're a big AI company, big international, probably millions of dollars in revenue, et cetera, et cetera. They went to the Kaggle leaderboard and Wow, my nose is so itchy right now. I've got a stuffed nose. They went to the Kegel leaderboard and hired from that. So I think that's a perfect example of how valuable Kegel can be. But otherwise, you can also win money on Kegel. It's great for your portfolio. If you solve a challenge on there really well, you can share an article about it. I haven't got any personal experience, but I think it's very valuable to start learning and working on real projects. Am I good, Nikhil? Am I good with data structures, algorithms, data structures, and stuff? No, I need to improve on that. I think, yeah, that's one area I definitely need to improve on. I know where I'm weak, and that's one of them. I bought the book, Cracking the Coding Interview, to use for coding interviews, but I haven't had to use that yet. But that's no excuse for not learning that stuff. It's just a time thing, right? I'm sort of, because this field is changing so fast, because the problems I've dealt with haven't really been the same problem for a long period of time. I'm sort of still learning stuff on the fly as I need to know it, rather than going and doing a whole massive foundation course on data structures and algorithms and then trying to implement them somewhere. But yes, that is something I will need to look at doing in the future. Data structures and algorithms. And as I said, I'm still, most of you are probably better than me at coding, right? I'm still learning. I'm still practicing. Where I'm strong is just the communication piece. And so that's the only difference, right? I still need to work on these other things. But as I said, I know that that's not where I'm going to end up. So that's why I'm also focused on keeping my communication skills going through making videos, through writing and whatnot. I hope that answers the question. Muhammad, do I plan to take another nano degree after AI, like ML nano degree? By the way, it seems you are taking the old. Yes, so I've just finished. Oh, actually, this is a spoiler. Shh. No, so I've just finished the final project in the AI nano degree, and I'm about to graduate from that. So after the AI nano degree, I think I'm going to fast.ai. So I'm thinking about, let me know. I don't know how this would work, but I'm thinking about live streaming each of the lessons in fast.ai as I do them. So we could all do it together. I don't know how it would work, but that's a thought that's popping around in my head. So leave a comment, or if you're watching this and if you think that would be fun, leave a comment below, or hit me up on any of the socials if you're watching this at a later date, because I'm going to archive this on my channel. But yeah, after the AI nano degree, I think I'm going to do that, fast.ai. And Mikkel with the data science nano degree question, because that is also another nano degree I was looking at. I would totally be interested in that. I've looked at it briefly. It looks incredible. So I think, yeah, I would do fast.ai. I'm thinking about live streaming it. If I didn't do fast.ai, I would do the data science nano degree. So that's what I choose. It looks very good, very good. What projects helped you most for landing your job? Oh, Alex, that's hard to say. Virtually everything on GitHub. So on my GitHub. So if you want to look at my GitHub, shared everything that I've as much as I can as what I've done. Most of it's from the deep learning nano degree. Most of it's from the AI nano degree. That, as well as the courses in deeplearning.ai. I'll put it in the comments as well. Deeplearning.ai. So the DL app nano degree, the AI nano degree, and deeplearning.ai, I think for me, they've been the best courses by far. So they're everything on my GitHub and everything in the deep learning. There's nothing on my GitHub from the deeplearning.ai course, because they ask you not to share your code, which is fair enough. I can agree with that. That being said, you could probably replicate the notebooks and share a different version of them on on wherever you like, as long as it's not the exact code. All right. So we got one more question. Otherwise, if you have any more questions, question, then we might wrap it up and go party. I think it's time for me to work out after this. But have you had fun? Should I do more of these live streams? Let me know if you want to see me do more of these live streams, or what kind of videos do you want to see? Do you like the vlogs? Should I do some other stuff? Should I live stream fast.ai when I do it? I don't know how that would work, but I'd figure it out. I'll figure it out. We have Harsath, Mark Zuckerberg, epic YouTube name from my last video, who's a 17-year-old high school student going for a college next year. He's learning convolutional neural networks on Coursera by Andrew Ng, and also in Udemy. Holy crap, well done, brother. Like that's putting in some work there, doing all that stuff. I've done some works in machine learning and deep learning. Do I think the link, his GitHub link is Harsath AI. My question is, do we need a master's degree to get a job in machine learning and deep learning.ai? And also, what do you think of my works? Well, I'm not going to check out your works just now because we're on live stream, but I will answer the question, do you need a master's degree in a job in machine learning and deep learning.ai? No, I do not have a master's degree. I'm a paid machine learning engineer. I don't have my contract, but yeah, I don't have a master's degree. I made my own master's degree, which is what you can do too. It won't have the shiny university certificate with the little wax badge or rubber stamp in it. My master's degree doesn't cost as much as one of those anyway. So this is what I did. I'll leave it in the chat. Oh wait, AI, bit.ly AI master's degree. This is all the stuff I've been doing. It's still going. I still haven't finished it yet. And it's going to keep growing, right? Because this field changes so fast, so fast. We cannot keep up with all of it. So that's my link to, are links working in the chat? I don't think links work in the live stream. But anyway, bit.ly/AI master's degree. You can find it on any of my other videos, and I'll probably put it in the description here as well, so you can check it out. But do you need a formal master's degree? No, but you do need to practice these skills, right? They're not just going to come to you, right? You can read books, you can do courses, but ultimately practicing them and doing projects and writing about them and sharing your knowledge online is what's going to help you the most. And frankly, in my opinion, I don't think universities can keep up with this, right? Because don't get me wrong, university is great for some things. I went there for 5 years and it was a great time, but I didn't learn anything about machine learning because I was doing a health science degree. All the stuff I've learned about machine learning has been online. It depends on where you want to go, right? I think university is valuable if you want to get into research, like doing a PhD or something. Yes, I think a master's degree would be great if you want to get into that sort of program. But if you want to go and work for a company, or you want to build your own things, I think online is getting to a state where you can learn solely online and just put them into practice, keep practicing, keep reaching out to people when you need help, and surround yourself with amazing people by going into meetups or starting your own study group or starting a YouTube channel, because all of you are amazing. And I'm so glad I can have you all to talk to about this stuff, because frankly, out of all my friends, there aren't many people who are interested in this as much as I am. So you do not need an official master's degree to get into the field. But that being said, as I said, it depends on where you want to go. For me, I want to apply machine learning and AI techniques to what I've learned in the past. So you can do that by learning them online and then trying to find some things and tying them together, right? Whereas if you want to get into a proper PhD program, I don't know how that looks at all because I've never looked into it. I think it would be great fun, but it's not for me. So I would say sit down with yourself for a while, write down the things that you're interested in, and think about, okay, what are the next steps I need to take there? One question, Harsaf. Nikhil, we will go one more question, and then we will sign up, wrap up this live stream. I think 40 minutes is a pretty good time. I'll do more of these. How often should I do these? Once a week, once a fortnight, maybe once a month? I don't know. Whatever you guys are feeling, I can jump on. I'm having fun here. I'm having fun. Nikhil, did I apply for financial aid on Coursera? Did I get any of these? No, I didn't get any financial aid. I paid for the courses. I completed them relatively fast on Coursera, so I didn't have to pay. I think it was $65 a month. It was supposed to go for 5 months, and I think I completed it within 2 months. So I only paid 2 lots of monthly fees. So if you want to apply for financial aid, that is definitely available to you. I personally was fortunate enough to have the funds to pay for it, and I think if you're paying for your education, it's a worthy investment. So no matter what the costs, well, actually, sometimes education is too expensive, but I think in comparison to like online learning versus like traditional university costs, it's just they're in two different realms, right? Like what I was looking at doing, the AI master's degree at my previous university was $42,000 a year. And so far, I think I've spent maybe $2,000 total, or maybe $3,000 total on all the stuff I've done. And it's taken me a lot less time. And I've just been focused in on it because I'm the boss of myself learning it. But yes, financial aid is available on Coursera, and it is a great service. I think once I get a bit bigger, I might look into see how I can give away some courses. I don't know how that would work. Maybe I'll do a partnership with Coursera or something, but I don't know how that would work. I would like that to happen in the future because I think everyone, an education for everyone is valuable. So that's something I'd like to look into in the future. But that's for another time. We're going to wrap up this live stream. As always, you can ask me anything. Message me on either of these two platforms. I'm on Instagram doing stories of me being an idiot on the internet most days. So check me out at Mr. D. Bourke. Or if you want to message me directly by text or by voice or whatever you want to do on Telegram, you can do a lot of stuff. Go t.me/Mr. D. Bourke. I'll put all this stuff in the description. Otherwise, my links and stuff should be below as well. Follow me, interact with me wherever you like. I'll do my best. Otherwise, if there is something I haven't answered fully or to your liking, leave it in a comment below and I'll get to it in a future live stream, or I'll just reply to you via text. And